When was the last time you sat alone, truly alone, with no phone, no noise, no distraction, and asked yourself, am I actually becoming who I'm supposed to be? Be honest, not the answer you'd give someone else. The real one. Because most people reading this right now are living on autopilot. They wake up. They scroll. They go through the motions. They sleep. And somewhere deep inside, there's a voice, quiet but persistent, whispering that something is off. That you're capable of more. That you're wasting something sacred. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people never face. The version of you that could change. Your life isn't waiting for motivation. It isn't waiting for the right moment. It's waiting for a decision. A single, quiet, ruthless decision to stop running from yourself. The Stoics understood something modern society has completely forgotten. That the greatest battle a man will ever fight is not outside in the world. It is inside his own mind. Every single morning. And that battle begins the moment you choose to study, to train, and to focus on yourself, or the moment you choose not to. This script is for the ones who are ready to choose. Look around. Look at the average day of the average person. They wake up exhausted before the day has even started. The first thing they reach for is their phone, flooding their mind with other people's opinions, other people's lives, other people's drama. Before they've even had a single thought of their own, they've already consumed 40 pieces of content that mean absolutely nothing. Then comes the day. Work, distraction, comparison, more scrolling. A few moments of false productivity. And then evening, when they're too tired to do anything meaningful. So they watch something mindless and call it rest. And this cycle repeats. Day after day. Week after week. Year after year. But here's the truth most people ignore. This isn't just laziness. This is identity erosion. Slowly, silently, without you even noticing, you are losing yourself. Your ambitions get quieter. Your discipline gets weaker. Your sense of purpose gets hazier. And the worst part? You start to feel comfortable with it. You start to call it just how life is. Think about this. How much of your energy today went toward building yourself, genuinely, deliberately, without distraction? How much went toward your studies, your physical training, your mental clarity? And how much was simply consumed by the noise? Most people, if they're honest, know the answer is devastating. There's a psychological concept called ego depletion, the idea that willpower and focus are finite resources. And every meaningless scroll, every passive hour, every avoided hard task is silently draining that resource, leaving you with nothing for the things that actually matter. You are not lazy. You are depleted. You are distracted. And you are living in a world specifically designed to keep you that way. But very few people understand what comes next, and this is where everything changes. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, were not philosophers who sat in ivory towers and theorized about life. These were warriors, emperors, former slaves, men who had faced real pain, real pressure, real temptation, and developed an unshakable system to master themselves from the inside out. And the core of that system was devastatingly simple. Control what you can, release what you can't, and spend every single day sharpening the only weapon you truly own, your mind, your body, and your character. This is not a self-help speech. This is not about positivity or morning routines that look good on Instagram. This is about something older. Something more powerful. It's about the ancient art of self-mastery, studying with intention, training your body with discipline, and focusing on your own growth with the same ruthlessness that a sculptor uses to carve stone. Removing everything that doesn't belong, until what remains is something real. And here's what Stoicism promises: not happiness the way the world sells it, not instant results, not comfort. It promises something far more valuable: clarity. The kind of clarity where you wake up and you know exactly who you are, what you're doing, and why it matters. The kind of clarity where distractions lose their power over you, where other people's opinions stop dictating your choices, where you stop performing your life and start actually living it. Notice this: the men throughout history who changed the world, who built empires of knowledge and strength, almost all of them had one thing in common. They studied deeply, they trained their bodies relentlessly, and they guarded their focus like it was the most precious resource they possessed. Because it is. When you combine serious study of ideas, of history, of yourself, with physical training that builds not just muscle but mental toughness, and pair it with ruthless, undistracted focus, you create a version of yourself that operates on an entirely different frequency than the people around you. And the 10 Stoic lessons we're about to go through aren't just philosophical concepts. They are practical weapons. Each one is designed to dismantle a specific pattern that's been holding you back and replace it with something ancient, proven, and powerful. Most people will watch this casually. They'll nod along. They'll feel motivated for 20 minutes and then return to the same life. Only a few will actually sit with this, apply it, and feel the shift begin. You know which one you want to be. Before we go into the 10 lessons, I want to stop for a second. If this is already resonating with you, if somewhere in the last few minutes you felt something stir, a recognition, a quiet guilt, a hunger, then this channel was made for you. We don't post motivational noise here. We don't do clickbait dopamine hits. Every single video on this channel is built around one mission: helping the person who is genuinely trying to wake up, reclaim their mind, and build a life of discipline, depth, and meaning. If that's you, and I think it is, because you're still here, hit subscribe right now. Not because of an algorithm, but because you deserve a feed that feeds your growth instead of your distraction. Make that your first act of intentionality today. And here's something I want you to do right now. Drop a comment below that says, "I choose myself." Just those 3 words. That's it. Not for me, for you. Because the moment you type that out and post it, something shifts. You're making a declaration. You're putting it into the world. And the mind takes declarations seriously. Think about how many times you've told yourself you'd change and gone back to the same patterns. Think about how many videos you've watched, how many quotes you've saved, how many mornings you've promised yourself, "Tomorrow I'll be different." And ask yourself, what's actually going to make this time different? Maybe it's this. Maybe it's the decision to stop consuming passively and start engaging actively with your own transformation. The 10 lessons ahead are going to challenge you. Some of them will be uncomfortable. One of them, I'll tell you right now, is going to completely reframe how you think about the relationship between your body and your mind. And once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it. Stay until the end. It will be worth it. Lesson 1. Your mind is your empire. Study to rule it. Most people study only when they're forced to, for exams, for jobs, for approval. But here's what they miss. Study is not preparation for life. Study is life. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his meditations every single morning, not for publication, but for self-government. Modern neuroscience confirms this. Deliberate learning rewires neural pathways, building what psychologists call cognitive resilience. When you study philosophy, history, psychology, you are training your judgment. And judgment, not intelligence, is what determines the quality of your decisions. Your practical takeaway: read or study something meaningful every day, even 15 minutes. Ask yourself, are you building a mind worth living in? Lesson 2. The body is the temple. Train it like your life depends on it. Most men know they should train, but they treat it as optional, something for when they have time. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." The Stoics understood that physical discipline is not separate from mental discipline. It is the same practice in a different domain. Research in behavioral psychology shows that consistent physical training increases dopamine regulation, reduces anxiety, and builds self-efficacy, the belief that you are capable of hard things. When you train your body consistently, you are not just building muscle. You are building the evidence that you can be trusted by yourself. Ask yourself, does your body reflect your standards? Lesson 3. Focus is power, and you've been giving it away for free. Here's the truth most people never face. Attention is the most valuable currency in the 21st century, and you are being robbed of it every single hour. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply that to your focus. If it doesn't serve your growth, do not give it your attention. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's research on flow state shows that deep, undistracted focus produces not just better results, it produces profound satisfaction and meaning. Distraction doesn't just waste time, it steals identity. Your takeaway: protect your mornings ruthlessly. Own your first hour. Ask yourself, who is currently controlling your attention? Lesson 4. Stop waiting for motivation. Become the kind of man who acts anyway, and this is where everything changes. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. Most people wait to feel ready, to feel inspired, energized, certain. But the Stoics built their entire philosophy around one truth. You will never control how you feel in the moment, but you will always control what you do. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The resistance you feel before studying, before training, before doing the hard thing, is almost always worse than the thing itself. Modern habit research by James Clear confirms, the act of beginning rewires motivation to follow action, not precede it. Your takeaway: start before you're ready. Every single time. Ask yourself, what have you been waiting for permission to begin? Lesson 5. Comparison is a silent killer. Compete only with yesterday's version of yourself. Most people will skip this one, but it might be the most important. We live in the most comparison-saturated era in human history. Social media serving us highlight reels of people we don't know, living lives we don't understand, triggering inadequacy we don't deserve. Epictetus said, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." Psychologically, social comparison activates the same neural circuits as physical pain. Every time you measure your chapter 3 against someone else's chapter 30, you are actively harming yourself. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. Ask yourself, are you growing or just comparing? Lesson 6. Silence is a discipline, and most people are terrified of it, but very few people understand this. The noise you surround yourself with is often a way of avoiding yourself. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in complete silence and let your mind settle? No music, no podcast, no phone, just stillness. Marcus Aurelius regularly withdrew into himself. He called it retreating into himself and described it as the greatest source of renewal available to a man. Neuroscience backs this up. Periods of silence activate the brain's default mode network, facilitating deep self-reflection, creativity, and emotional processing. Silence is where you meet yourself and where you find out whether you like who's there. Your takeaway: schedule silence daily, even 10 minutes. Ask yourself, what are you afraid you'll hear when the noise stops? Lesson 7. Your circle shapes your ceiling. Choose it with the seriousness of a general. Seneca wrote one of the most powerful warnings in human history. Tell me who you walk with, and I'll tell you who you are. Most people treat their social circle as a matter of comfort and convenience. The Stoics treated it as a matter of survival. You are not just influenced by the people around you, you are, over time, shaped by them. Your habits, your standards, your ambitions, your self-image, all of it is in constant negotiation with the people you spend the most time with. Behavioral science calls this social contagion, the invisible transfer of habits and beliefs between people in close proximity. Your takeaway: audit your circle. Not with cruelty, but with clarity. Ask yourself, do the people around you raise your standard or lower it? Lesson 8. Master your mornings or your mornings will master you. Here's a pattern that separates the focused from the lost. What you do in the first 60 minutes of your day determines the psychological trajectory of the entire day. Marcus Aurelius began every morning by reminding himself of the difficulty ahead, not to create fear, but to create readiness. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Modern research on cortisol awakening response confirms that the brain is in a uniquely receptive and alert state in the morning, making it the highest leverage hour of your entire day. And most people hand it straight to their phone. Your takeaway: build a morning that builds you. Study, move, think, before the world demands anything from you. Ask yourself, what does your morning currently say about your priorities? Lesson 9. Embrace difficulty. Hard things build the self that easy things never could. Most people avoid discomfort. They choose the easier path, the softer option, the familiar. And then they wonder why they feel hollow. The Stoics had a practice called voluntary hardship, deliberately choosing difficulty. Seneca wrote about eating simple food, wearing rough clothing, sleeping on the floor, not out of suffering, but to build the inner proof that he could endure. Psychologists call this stress inoculation, the deliberate exposure to manageable challenge which builds resilience over time. Every hard study session, every brutal training day, every moment you push past the urge to quit, you are depositing into the most important account you own, your self-belief. Ask yourself, when did you last choose the harder path on purpose? Lesson 10. Become the observer of your own mind. This is where real freedom begins, and this is the lesson that ties everything together. The Stoics called it prasoche, self-attention. The practice of watching your own thoughts, impulses, reactions, not from judgment, but from awareness. Because you cannot change what you cannot see. Epictetus taught that between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lives your freedom. Modern mindfulness research confirms that this metacognitive awareness, the ability to observe your own mind, is one of the strongest predictors of emotional resilience, decision quality, and long-term well-being. When you study, you are training your intellect. When you train, you are forging your body. When you observe your mind without being enslaved by it, you become free. Ask yourself, who is the one watching your thoughts right now? 10 lessons. 1 ancient philosophy. 1 life yours, waiting to be lived with clarity and fire. Let's bring this full circle. You started this video as someone who may have been running from themselves, caught in the scroll, the comparison, the comfortable numbness of a life lived without intention. And if you've made it here, something in you already knows that version of your life is over. Not because I said so, but because you sat here, listened, and let the truth land. The Stoics didn't promise you an easy life. They promised you something infinitely more valuable, a life you can respect. A life where you wake up and look in the mirror and see someone who showed up. Someone who studied when it was hard. Someone who trained when they were tired. Someone who chose themselves, day after day, not perfectly, but consistently. That's the transformation. Not a sudden awakening. Not a dramatic overnight change. But a slow, quiet, powerful revolution happening in your study sessions, in your early mornings, in your training, in the moments where you choose depth over distraction and discipline over comfort. The world will not make this easy for you. It never has. But the Stoics didn't ask the world for permission, and neither should you. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the greatest empires in human history, fought wars, faced betrayal, and battled illness. And through all of it, he kept writing, kept thinking, kept choosing to be better. Not for legacy, not for fame, for the simple, non-negotiable reason that it was the right way to live. That is your invitation. Study not to impress, but to become someone with the depth to navigate this world with wisdom. Train not to look a certain way, but to build a body that reflects your commitment to yourself. Focus not obsessively, but with the quiet, powerful certainty of someone who knows where they're going and refuses to be pulled off course. This is the Stoic path, and it is available to you right now. Not tomorrow, not when things calm down. Right now. If this video moved something in you, even slightly, then do 3 things. First, subscribe to this channel because we're building something here. A community of people who are serious about their growth, their discipline, and their inner life. Every video is a step further down this path. You don't want to miss what's coming. Second, drop a comment below right now and type, "I choose myself." That's your declaration. That's you telling yourself publicly, deliberately, that the old pattern is done and the new chapter has started. Those 3 words carry more weight than you might think. Third, share this video with one person in your life who needs to hear it. Someone who is stuck, who is lost, who has more potential than they're living up to. You might not know how to start that conversation, but this video can start it for you. That's what this is for. You were not built for mediocrity. You were built for more. The evidence is the fact that you're here, asking the right questions, listening to the right ideas, at the exact moment your life needs this most. Go study, go train, go build the self that the world, and you, deserve to meet. The Stoics are watching, and so is the version of you that's already become everything you're trying to become. Now go earn him,